Hey everybody, this is Geoff's Record Review, and today we will be reviewing Jethro Tull Heavy Horses. I don't really know much about Jethro Tull, and I've never heard this album before, so you're going to be getting the most honest review I possibly can. It's got a really nice cover to it. It's embossed. Honestly, it's super nice. Dude. And the record is really nice, too. There's not really any scuffs. I keep it in acid-free paper. You know, acid-free. And, dude, it's nice. It looks straight. It's beautiful. I don't see any scratches there. Let me look again. Nope, I don't see any scratches. And it's got the blue and white Chrysalis label. We've got, and the Mouse Police Never Sleeps, you know, songs I really don't know if I've heard or not. But isn't that the beauty of just spinning records? Isn't that the beauty of just discovering music? Whether it's new, old, it's printed, it's ready to go. And I also want to take a look at this cover here real quick. This is a really nice cover. It's embossed. I don't know if all the covers are like that. I really don't know exactly what pressing this is. The etchings in the runout really aren't that deep. All I see is like an A. I see like a backwards C there. There's like a little square symbol with the cross in it, but I don't really know exactly what pressing it is. And it's got a really nice sleeve with all the lyrics on it. Nice on both sides. Dude. CHR 1175, 1978. We're going to give this sucker a whirl, and I'm going to review it. So stay tuned. Well, I've listened to it now, and I got to say, it's okay. It's an alright record. I can see why some people would really like it. Me, it's okay. It's all right. I think the first song really starts out strong. It's got a nice prog rock feel to it. It's in 6/8. The first thing that you notice about Jethro Tull, or at least in this album, and I think it's probably one of the only things I really knew about Jethro Tull before I listened to this, it's that they use flute. They're a rock band that uses flute, which is really cool. It's a really nice mix. This album really has sort of a Renaissance feel. One of the things I don't really like is that it has like a theme, but almost every song on here starts out the same. It's got the same instrumentation. There's two songs that start out with bass and drums alone, or just bass and electric, and then a lot of songs that start out with acoustic guitar, mandolin, overdubs all over the place. And I mean, it's okay. It's okay, but I'm going to start with the first song. And the Mouse Police Never Sleeps. And the first thing that you notice is that it's 6/8, and the flute comes in along with acoustic and mandolin, and the chords change every 3 counts. It ends with voiceover dubs that just kind of layer each other, and so it seems like they're trying to get into somewhat experimentation, prog rock as well. But I don't know, man. I mean, some people would like it, some people would. As a musician myself, I think they're kind of trying too hard. The song's it's called And the Mouse Police Never Sleeps. It's about a cat, really. It's about a cat that's out hunting mice. A lot of songs on this album are about animals. It's called Heavy Horses. And this is about a cat stalking. I kind of like the writing. I really do like the writing. It's poetic in a way. It's not too obvious as to what they're talking about. But also the songwriting concepts is kind of neat. It's something I haven't seen. I haven't seen too much of, and it seems like they were just kind of out on a farm. Or Ian Anderson, who I think is credited for writing the lyrics to a lot or all of these songs, was out on a farm one day and just kind of noticing nature and looking at, they have a song called Weathercock. The album's called Heavy Horses, moths. There's a song about a cat, one brown mouse. I mean, it's all right. I like the writing because it's really poetic. which is, a step in the right direction. And then the second song starts. It's called Acres Wild. It starts with like a Renaissance-like feel, which a lot of songs on here really do start out with flute, mandolin, and strings. It's in 4/4. The mix seems flat. There's not as much low end as I would really like there, but what's really cool is that they do find moments where they can do a lot of counterpoint, which is something you don't really see a lot in especially musicians around this time. There's a lot of counterpoint between the bass and the melodic instruments there, which is really cool, actually. I think they really make it work here. There's a good spread of instruments. This is a stereo. It's not mono. So there's a spread of instruments on each side. There's reverb on the left side, mainly on this record. It's really cool. The third song starts with a fade in of electric guitars that are doing like harmonies of some sort. It begins with electric on the right and the reverb of the electric on the left. This track does have more bass. It has a little bit more low end in the kick. It falls into a really nice drum and bass groove. It's a great stereo spread. The vocals are overdubbed with delay and stuff like that. And then it gets into like a fast-paced part. It rocks. I did like the third song in it. The third song is called No Lullaby. And I think it's really about a child losing his innocence. Cool. That's a great concept to talk about. You could talk about like children going through adversity, and the weird thing is that a lot of children who did go through adversity ended up becoming great because of that adversity, and they didn't let it overcome them because there's perseverance. And the weird thing about being a parent is we want to kind of shelter them from that adversity, and so there's sort of like a balance there, something to really talk about and think about. And I don't think a lot of modern artists, especially today, they don't see that. They don't want adversity for their children, obviously, but it's just something a lot of people don't really think about. And so I did like the third song in this. There's really nice dynamics in this record as a whole. There's some really good quiet moments. The fourth song starts with overdub of acoustic guitars on each side. There's tight stops. That's sort of the part where there's a bunch of stops in each of the songs, or extra counts. And I get it. It's prog. I get it. It's. I think they're trying a little too hard for that. And I think what happens is that they're writing the lyrics first and then writing the music around the lyrics, which is cool in a way, but I didn't know much about Jethro Tull, and I'm a music junkie, and it's because sometimes that stuff just doesn't jive with people. It doesn't, Jethro Tull has got like a really cool cult following and underground following, but it's not pop, and I like things that aren't pop. But at the same time, it's just, when you're adding extra counts, when you really don't need them, I don't like it. I just think you're trying too hard. I think you're trying too hard to be prog. If you're adding extra counts because the melody needs it, perfect. If you're adding extra counts because, the lyrics may need an extra count for a second, it's fine. But I think you could also shape the lyric in a way or change the words to make it fit. And I think it's sort of lazy while not being lazy, and I don't know. I think there's a balance, and I think they do it a little too much in this record. The fifth song, which ends side 1, is called Journeyman. It's nice. It starts with a nice bass groove. It's got nice guitar effects in it, like flanger and stuff, and there's a cool mix on the right side, I noticed, between the guitar amp mic, I'm assuming, and then the room mic. There was like a cool mix, but then they take down the room as you get further into the song, and it's more purely guitar amp mic. And then there's a real cough when the word cough is saying. It's neat. Song 6, you flip over to side B with Rover. It starts with a marimba, phrases of 8. There's a shaker in the background during a verse, which is normally, a lot of engineers usually put like a shaker or what's the thing I'm thinking of where it's got like the little metal chimes or whatever. Anyway, they usually do that behind guitar solos and stuff like that. You can hear it in the Beatles' Word. Not behind a guitar solo, but sort of like on here where it's behind the voice or the vocal during the verse. Song number 7. It's kind of cool. It's One Brown Mouse. it's about a dude who's basically pondering on how his mouse really feels. His mouse is sort of in like a glass, I don't know, I don't want to call it cage, but in a glass little house thing, looking at his owner, who is the guy who wrote the lyrics, Ian Anderson. You know, and he's wondering how his mouse feels. If his mouse feels lonely, if his mouse wants to be like a person. Kind of cool. There's really nice fifths in the vocal harmonies. Sort of like a droning effect in a way, but not really because they're moving around. But there's really nice fifths in there. And then song number 8, which is the title song of the track, Heavy Horses. It's really about a guy who likes to see horses on the farm. He doesn't like to see them replaced with machinery and stuff. And so what's cool is that it starts with counterpoint between the bass and the electric guitar. Bass is on the left side, electric's on the right side. There's modulating timing between 4/4 and 3/4. There's great vocal harmonies with the piano during the verse. And then for verse 2, instead of piano, there's acoustic guitar there. And then the piano kind of comes in and does like a little bit of color on the right side, which is really cool during verse 2. There's great tempo modulation, the double time in the middle of the track, and it ends with a nice fade out. And then we get into the last song, Weathercock, which is, I don't know if you guys know what a weathercock is, but it's one of them spinning chickens. Yeah, I just got a text message. It's one of them things, you know. I do these in one take because I can, and I'm simple. So, but anyway, it's about, one of them wind things on the top of a farm, and it's something like the shape of a chicken with an arrow, and it spins around depending on where the air is moving or where the wind is blowing. So it's about one of those, and yeah, it just kind of goes along with the theme. It starts like every other song in the track. It's got sort of like a Renaissance-y feel to it. All in all, I mean, the record's okay. It's not the worst record I've ever heard. I'm not really too big of a fan of this record. I feel like the message is really, if there's any message at all, it's really weak. Will you please stop? I do like the cover. It's embossed. I like the sleeve. 1978, late 70s. I mean, you had a bunch of competitors then. So, it's different. It's different. You have to be in the mood for it. I can see why a lot of people really like it. It's not my favorite, but it's a good listen. I mean, if you really want somebody to experiment with new music, show them this record. It's really neat. That's a good word for it. So, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching Geoff's Record Review. And be blessed.